Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Welcome aboard this afternoon as we get set up to catch up on the latest around oil country as the Oilers, well, they won against the LA Kings. And friends, I guess to start the show, if I can tell you anything today, if you're going to choose something, choose to be grateful. The Oilers come through with an effort we've all been waiting for, wanting, and they delivered it against the LA Kings. And you know what? For everybody sitting here saying this, that, or the other thing, oh, this could have been better, that could have been better. At the end of the day, there's nothing better than a 4-2 win over top of our newest, best rival, the LA Kings. It was a fantastic hockey game, and that's much I will take away. Friends, as well, if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button on your way in. And with that, we move into the news rather quick. We're taking a look at Evan Bouchard first. We'll get to the trade targets in a brief moment, I promise you that. Bouchard, why are we talking about him? Well, he's at 56 games played, currently has 56 points. I believe that ties him or gets him right close with Chris Pronger's modern-day Oilers record for most points by a defenseman. That, of course, stands as the highest total since our assistant coach Paul Coffey was on the ice for the Edmonton Oilers. So, interesting to note there that Evan Bouchard is about to be a part of history and potentially a point-per-game defenseman this year in the NHL. Wouldn't that be special? Now, he's at a $3.5 million salary this year, $3.9 million cap hit this year and next. So when it comes to Bouchard, what we need to know about that is, what are we asking? We're asking about his next deal. And this was mentioned on Oilers Now today. This has been mentioned all over social media, is the Oilers need to go out and get Bouchard signed because it's going to cost them a whole lot more later than it is now. I would argue, well, July 1st being the soonest you can possibly sign him, I believe is how that works. I would have to double, triple check that, but I believe that is how it works for the NHL with guys like Evan Bouchard. They chose to re-sign him soon. Could you have an issue like a Darnell Nurse deal that everyone complains about? Or do you get a best possible deal? I don't know. Quite honestly, I'm not sure when the best time to sign Evan Bouchard will be, but the next deal, it will be much bigger for one Evan Bouchard. I can guarantee that. As we continue along here, friends, trade targets update. Well, here are the 5 guys we've been kind of looking at. I guess sleeper picks as well in there. But we've been kind of looking at 4 guys over the past week quite steadily. Adam Henrique, Sam Carrick, both of the Anaheim Ducks. Pavel Buchnevich of the St. Louis Blues. He's kind of been thrown into that mix. I still want to see something solidify there. And Chris Tanev of the Calgary Flames. Though the update today on Chris Tanev is the fact that the Dallas Stars have stepped up with an offer, but it still does not include that first-round pick, so the waiting game continues because the Calgary Flames will not trade Chris Tanev for anything less than a first-round pick for some odd reason. They're going to have to get desperate at some point because somebody's got to take Noah Hannafin off their hands too. So when we talk about sleeper picks, obviously that's guys out and about in the hockey universe like a Matthias Ekholm that won't become apparent to us until about next week. And this is where I'm going to tell you, friends, right now what you need to do is go over to the Oilers Fanatic here on YouTube, go over to Gillis TV, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you're staying tuned with all things Oilers as trade deadline week heats up next week with Patrick. And of course, Gillis TV kind of resting up here this week, getting primed for what will be a very busy week across the NHL. I'll put both links in the comments section down below for you to go hit those subscribe buttons. That said, there are 2 other names I want to add to this list. It's something we talked at length about off and on during the live stream last night against the LA Kings, a winning effort. Hey, I'll remind you that again. 6'5" Anthony Mantha, who got a lot of airtime across oil country yesterday, I believe, because, well, he's a Detroit Red Wings draft pick. Would have been picked up by, yeah, you know it, that guy, Ken Holland, that's still our general manager. He's 6'5", 10 years pro, 235 pounds, 234. He's a heavy, big body to have in the lineup. He's producing points, about 30 of them this year, so you don't mind that at all. You would love to add somebody of maybe a guy like Nick Bjugstad's stature into the lineup, and I guess this year it might just be Anthony Mantha. And why? Because the Oilers, as mentioned with Sam Carrick and Adam Henrique, continue to look for a 2-in-1 package that maximizes assets out and maximizes assets in. Centerman, right shot, Nick Dowd, also part of that. He's injured right now, should be back right away. 6'1", 193. He's also 10 years pro and a heavy veteran in the lineup at 33 years old for the Oilers. So a guy who's scored 16, 17, 18 points this year, adds right-hand shot, bona fide center, bigger stature than Derek Ryan to your NHL fourth line. I don't see why you wouldn't do that there at all either. So friends, there's a whole bunch here. Obviously, Bouchard's deal has to be kind of worked out as we continue along, and it'll only probably creep up the numbers, so I might wait until the end of next year to get that sign done. But as well, then all of a sudden you've got Draisaitl, you got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Maybe the Oilers would like the cost certainty. The NHL draft or the NHL trade targets for the Edmonton Oilers here this season, right? You got the sleeper picks, UC Saros. If he frees up, if he shakes loose, I don't know why the Oilers wouldn't go after him. And of course, Mantha and Dowd being added to the list now. There's a whole bunch of names thrown all over the map here for the Oilers, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, and I'm excited to see how it all shakes out next Friday. Like I said, subscribe to Patrick from the Oilers Fanatic. He's got a bunch of time booked to be your #1 source for the Oilers trade deadline this year. He's got the day off. I don't. And of course, Gillis TV kind of taking a broader NHL look. Friends, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. I am up on out of here. Thanks for being aboard. We'll catch you in a little bit.